His rendezvous with grim destiny begins a little after noontime as his plane lands in Dallas. Earlier, he had received a tumultuous reception in Fort Worth, and now more thousands are waiting to greet him in downtown Dallas. But death is less than 1 short hour away. At 1:25, the motorcade moves into the downtown area. Death is 6 minutes away. In a warehouse, a sniper with a rifle poised waits. The cheers of the crowd almost muffle the 3 shots. The assassin's aim is deadly. The area is a swarm with police, rangers, and Secret Service men. The murderer slips the net, but a few blocks away, a man is captured after he is reported to have killed a policeman. That man is a 24-year-old pro-Castro Texan who once sought Soviet citizenship. He is charged with murder. Meanwhile, the president had been rushed to a nearby hospital where life lingered as a waiting world prayed. A half hour later, he was dead, his life crushed like his wife's abandoned bouquet.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the acting president, Mr. Lyndon B. Johnson. So, Mr. President, 3 days ago, former president was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. When did you first become the vice president?
I was offered the nomination by Kennedy in 1960. Without the support of the Southern Democrats who backed me, Kennedy could not have been elected, so he personally offered me it.
So, Mr. President, when did you first hear the news of John F. Kennedy's assassination?
I was traveling in the car behind him. He turned on Main Street in downtown Dallas. I wasn't sure who was shot yet, but my assumption was Mr. Kennedy.
What was your experience in Dallas like?
There was over 150,000 people lined up to see the event. Streets were crowded, people lined up for miles. As soon as I heard the gunshot, they raced me to the Air Force One, where I was told personally Kennedy was shot and he was dead.
When did they announce his death?
At 1:20 p.m., Malcolm Kidder, the White House press secretary, gave the official announcement to the public on national television.
Did they catch the shooter?
The police followed his trail. They found bullet shells and a hidden rifle on the 6th story of a nearby school. At 7:10 p.m., he was arrested in the Texas Theater for shooting a police officer. Then later, at 1:30 a.m. the next day, he was charged with the murder of the president.
When did you become the acting president of the United States?
At 2:38 p.m., I was administered the oath of office on the Air Force One by the federal judge.
Where did the plane land?
Andrews Air Force Base, Washington, D.C. Kennedy's casket was loaded off the plane for an autopsy.
I imagine the plane ride back was very confusing and traumatic, so what did you do when the plane first landed?
At 5:10 p.m., I gave my first statement to the public, addressing me as President of the United States and President Kennedy dead.
So where was Kennedy's funeral? Where? Just gonna sit there? Or you gonna speak?
He was shown at the Capitol Rotunda. Over 250,000 people showed to view him.
Where was Kennedy buried?
He's buried at the Arlington National Cemetery, right next to his brother. He and his brother share the eternal flame in memory of the Kennedy name.
Okay, Mr. President, thank you for the interview. Thank you very much. It was an honor talking to you.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Today I will be interviewing Lyndon B. Johnson, 30 years after the JFK assassination.
Didn't see it then. My name is Lyndon B. Johnson. 30 years ago, John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Today, I'm going to be doing an interview with the same interviewer.
Tell me a little bit about your foreign policy.
Well, I sent 500,000 troops to Vietnam to support the war effort. I spent a great deal of my budget that way, but, you know, I needed to show America's number one.
So, what about your domestic policy for African Americans?
Well, 1964, I did a Civil Rights Act for African Americans. 1965, I did the Voting Act. Now, if you mind for a second, I'm going to hit the ball.
About the children.
Well, I started some education acts, you know, to improve the quality of the schools and the quality of learning, you know. So, we got new textbooks, new teachers, really improved the future of America. Now, if you don't mind, I gotta hit the ball.
What about the elderly?
Well, I established Medicare and Medicaid to health care for the elder people. You know, they did raise our generation. Now, if you don't mind, I gotta hit the ball. Oh, wow.
What about the environment?
Well, you know, I cared a lot about the environment, so I passed a lot of acts that would preserve the natural beauty of America. You know, that was my main focus. But if you don't mind, I gotta hit the ball.
What'd you do about poverty?
Well, you know, I did my best to eradicate poverty, but we don't live in a perfect world, so it didn't all work out. Now, if you don't mind, I gotta hit the ball. Wow, that's a good shot.
Do you think you did a good job filling in for JFK as president?
Well, JFK was an excellent man. He had it all. The looks, the wealth, the power. But, you know, unfortunate events are unfortunate. And I did my best as president and fulfilled my presidential duties to improve America. And that, I think I succeeded. Now, if you don't mind, I gotta hit the ball.
You shot 182 on 9 holes.
You know, I was better at president than I was at golf.
Tim Finnegan lived in Watkins Street, a gentle Irishman, very odd. He did beautiful, broke so rich and sweet, to rise in the world he carried a hod. See, Tim had a sort of a tippling way. With the love of the liquor, poor Tim was born. To help him with his work each day, he'd drop on the tray every more. A whack from a dart on dance, his heart go up the floor, your trotters shake. Wasn't it truth? I tell you, lots of fun in Finnegan's Wake. One morning Tim was very full. His head felt heavy, which made him shake. He fell from the ladder.